In our last video, we did a survey to find out what B2B companies are doing since trade shows are forced to take a sabbatical due to COVID. 15% of you were focusing the most on paid search from our survey. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the behemoth in paid search advertising, and that is Google. Google Ads, formerly known as AdWords, is the powerhouse behind Google. Did you know that 96% of Google's overall revenue comes from paid advertising? All of those ads resulted in over $161 billion in revenue in 2019 alone. So let's talk about what makes Google Ads so special and discuss if paid search marketing is the right fit for you and your B2B business. Hi, my name's Jeff with Production Clicks, and in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to give 5 examples of different business types and discuss which ones are good for Google Ads and which ones aren't. So let's get started. Paid search is a form of inbound marketing, but it, and I mean Google here, has one really big superpower that other forms of advertising simply don't have, and that is the power of intent. Now, we're all served with a million different ads all day on TV, news sites, billboards, and yes, even Facebook. But with Google search, you are taking time out of your very busy day to go and search for something specifically. It could be how to make waffles, getting directions somewhere, or looking to buy something. So that looking to buy something is what we're after. Intent combined with commercial value equals commercial intent. In marketing terms, we call this in the market. And Google does its job of matching the person searching for something with an ad for that product or service to ideally make a match. So the way I like to look at it is Google is essentially a glorified matchmaker. They do a little bit more than that, but you know what I mean. As a simple example, your faucet is leaking. And so you pull up Google and you search for plumber near me. So right away, you'll find results showing plumbers in your area with several who pay to advertise. And those who advertise appear at the very top of the page. And in a sense, they can cut to the front of the line. You click the ad and schedule an appointment. The plumber then comes over to your house, your faucet gets fixed, and the advertising plumber gets your dollars. A match is made. Thanks, Google. Now, paid search tends to be a little bit more expensive because when done right, those visitors to your website carry that commercial intent that we talked about. Those other competitors are also willing to pay for those keywords, thus driving up the cost. It's important to keep in mind, however, that more expensive doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing. It is better to have more high-quality leads where they are in the market than to pay less for leads that were never intending to buy from you to begin with. Okay, so price is set in an auction format. You and your competitors bid on each individual keyword phrase. The winner of that auction gets their ad to appear at the very top. The second highest bidder just below the first, and so on. Now, there are some other factors such as your quality score that is a determination in the bidding process. But that, for the most part, falls outside the scope of this video, and so I just wanted to mention it briefly. Now, Google makes up approximately 80% of the market share of online search. And it's actually higher than that when you factor in YouTube, which Google owns. Not everybody knows this, but YouTube is actually the second biggest search engine aside from Google.com. Okay, so you've made it this far, and that is great because right now we're going to discuss a few examples to see if paid search is the right fit for you and your business. Being self-taught myself, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos over the years about how to build out campaigns and come up with strategies for paid search. I never really liked how a lot of the videos out there would talk about a one-size-fits-all because that is never the case. The truth is, paid search isn't for all businesses. For your campaigns to be successful, you need all of the following 4 things. Number 1, is there enough traffic? So are there enough people searching for what you sell? Number 2, do they have commercial intent? Are they looking to buy? Number 3 is economic viability. So does the math make sense? And number 4, does your product or service violate any of Google's policies? Because if it does, chances are you're not going to be able to advertise it. Okay, so let's discuss some different business types. So the first example I'm going to discuss is going to be trade show displays. And it's something that I'm familiar with, plus a lot of our customers exhibit at trade shows normally. And so it's something that you might be familiar with as well. So let's run through those 4 key criteria pieces. So number 1, is there enough traffic? Yes, there's enough traffic. It's a national type of product that can be shipped anywhere. There's a large number of people looking for it, so it fits that one. Number 2, is there commercial intent? Yes, there's going to be people who are looking to buy, and so therefore there's a purchase to be had. Number 3, is there economic viability? Yes, actually it's a pretty good one because they tend to be more high dollar. And so the math does make sense. You can advertise, make the sale, and still come out ahead and have it be a profitable campaign. And then number 4, there's no issues with it violating any of Google's policies. It's a product that is not a problem at all. And so that's one really great example. Okay, let's talk about a different example. Let's talk about a different type of B2B company, one who specializes in aircraft propellers. Now, we do run into a problem because the very first one on the criteria list has to do with traffic. And because there's not a lot of people going online searching for aircraft propellers, there might be some, but there's not a lot of them, we start to run into a traffic issue, not enough visitors to your website, and we'll be waiting around a long time. Even though it might hit some of the other criteria, it's not going to be a viable campaign. Okay, so for our third example, let's talk about a B2B company or even a B2C company, and their product is hemp seeds or CBD oil. So while nationally this is a huge market now in the billions of dollars, if you try to advertise on those right now, we might run into some problems as far as it violating Google's policies or their terms and conditions because of the product type. And so there might be some gray area there. There might be some people where you see them advertising, but for the most part, this could be an area where Google might flag it or prevent your ad from showing. So now for our fourth example, let's talk about high-end art. Now we know that there's a market here. We know that there's going to be some people probably searching online for this. So we just have to run through these 4 examples. So let's talk about the first one, traffic. Okay, so now there might not be as much traffic, but there's probably going to be some traffic. So let's go to number 2. Is there commercial intent? Yes, some of them are looking to purchase some high-end art. There is a market for that. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is the economic viability. So would it make sense if you do make a sale, let's say you did sell a piece of fine art and it was a $15,000 or $25,000 sale? Well, it wouldn't take a whole lot to be able to recoup your investment off of a sale like that. So I would say yes on the economic viability. And number 4, are there any issues with Google policies or violating any terms or conditions? Probably not, probably safe there. So this one, it may work, but there would probably have to be quite a bit of work to make that small amount of volume convert into somebody who eventually buys it. In other words, you might be waiting a while, but it could happen. So it's a maybe. Okay, so now for our last example, let's talk about an apparel business. An apparel business, number 1, right off the bat, does it meet the criteria of having enough traffic? Yes, it does. Not a problem there. So let's move on to number 2. Is there a commercial intent? Are there people looking to buy? Not a problem there either. So we go on to number 3. So number 3 is economic viability. Does the math make sense? So by the time you pay for the advertising, the Google Ads portion, to be able to acquire a new customer where they place an order, whether it's through the website or it's not, does the math make sense? Are you going to get a return on your investment? And that's going to be the one where it's going to be kind of interesting with apparel. There's a lot of competition for it. That can drive the prices higher. So that one is a case by case. Yes, absolutely it can be done because all you have to do is go online and see that there's a lot of options out there that are paying for this type of advertising. But that's something to definitely look out for with this example. Okay, so now let's talk about what a successful paid search campaign looks like. Being successful in the long run means that you can reliably and also profitably acquire new customers. If the performance that you get is better than break even, then you can actually run this campaign in perpetuity. If the performance is lower than break even, then it is going to end up slowly bleeding money and eventually cause your budget to go to zero. Even if it is just barely profitable, we consider that a win too, because you've successfully acquired a new customer. And any repeat business is gravy now that it is free and clear of those initial marketing costs. Take our campaigns over the last several years with production prints, for example. Over a 2-year period of time, for every $1 in Google ad spend, we would average about $6 in sales. At a conservative gross profit margin of around 42%, that means we have now roughly $2.50 of gross profit. Paying back that initial $1 of ad spend, we're now left with a gross profit of about $1.50. Not bad, considering we just profitably acquired a new customer, and everything else this customer orders in the future is great. Existing customers for any business is their bread and butter, since it is free and clear of marketing costs. The costs of acquisition have already occurred. I like to think of this newly acquired customer as an income-producing asset that is paid off. We can now redeploy that same $1 on more ad spend to go reel in our next new customer. You can start to get a sense of its real power when instead of talking about $1 of ad spend, we now talk about thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars per month on successful paid search campaigns. Google Ads all of a sudden became a pretty big spoke in the wheel of any marketing initiative. And the best part, your new customer came to you because remember, paid search is a form of inbound marketing. Thank you so much for watching all the way up to this point. This video was meant to be a general overview of Google Ads and how to tell if it is the right fit for you and your B2B business. But soon I'm going to be putting together some more videos and take a closer look into paid search. So make sure to subscribe for more. You can also check out the show notes below for more information and resources found in this video, including our recently updated spreadsheet that will show the status of many B2B trade shows to be held in person this year. Thanks again, and bye for now.